Hey folks, welcome to Thinking Theology. I'm Don. I don't establish theology here. Some folks have misinterpreted the name of the channel as me avowing a belief in religion or God. I don't. I simply analyze theological arguments that others are making. It could be anti-religion, so like the atheistic perspective, could be fundamentalist Christian perspective. I look at the arguments and say whether or not they need work or where I find flaws in the arguments themselves. When I started the channel, I kind of expected fundamentalist Christians to come at me harder than atheists do, because when you take the middle ground on something, it pisses a lot of people off. And yet a number of folks have appreciated the style or the way in which I approach different arguments. Christopher Hitchens, Richard Dawkins don't faze me in the least. They have very good arguments for their positions. The Christians or people who believe in God have very good arguments for why they believe in God. It doesn't mean I accept them. It doesn't mean I find them convincing. It means I find that there's a good basis for what they believe. So in any case, I'm going to look at this position. Which causes more deaths, atheism or religion? I don't know this guy. I don't know this thing. I just saw I scouted YouTube for something and I said, you know what? That looks like an interesting topic. Let's see how this guy presents it. Many people have made the argument, and I've touched on this in videos on this channel, that religion is the cause of most wars in mankind's history. And I have said, if we eradicated religion, people would still kill each other because wars are generally fought over geography or over wanting to enslave another group of people. For example, vulnerable people are the ones that get screwed over. And that's just the way it is in the animal kingdom. It's the way it is in the plant kingdom. Taller trees take the sunlight. The littler trees die. It's just kind of the way it works. Survival of the fittest. Call it that. Call it by some other name. But wars would still be fought. People would still die, even if we eradicated religion. So in any case, I don't know if that's where this guy's going to go with what he's got to say. But
World War I caused by religion? No. World War II caused by religion? No. Korean War caused by religion? No. Vietnam War caused by religion? No.
Crossexamine.org.
I've noticed in my studies of history that...
Yeah, first I have to say that's actually a good name for I'm assuming that would be a Christian-based YouTube channel, Cross-Examined. That's actually pretty good.
Every single civilization that pops up, no matter where or how isolated, has a religion. I don't know if there's any exception, but that seems to be the rule for me. I was wondering where atheism ever comes into play historically, if there's any societies that have had higher rates of atheism, or maybe you have answers as to where it originated.
Well, I'll give you one such example, and that is the former Soviet Union. And the Soviet Union tried to, for 70 or so years, impose atheism on the populace. And when my friend Ravi Zacharias went over there a number of years ago and started talking about God and truth, he got a lot of pushback because they were trained to believe there is no God. And many of them believed there was no God. And Stalin, as you know, and Lenin, and those kinds of leaders, both those leaders on different occasions, it was probably more Lenin, now that I think about it, they bulldozed churches. They wanted to wipe out Christianity. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people will look.
Well, one of the ideas, too, of wiping out Christianity or religion, period, not just Christianity. I mean, Judaism, it's also been attempted to wipe out not only Jews, but, Judaism. North Korea does not allow outside information into that country, right? There's no access to the internet, for example. And the idea is that when you are a despot or when you are an authoritarian, you stamp out other ideas, because those can challenge you, that can challenge your power, that can challenge your authority and its ideas. You suppress other ideas, and then you can just pump your ideas into the populace, and then they just follow. It's easier to have them follow along. Religion proposes other ideas, gets people thinking for themselves. It said there studies, many have been done, something like 87 to 90% of people worldwide believe there's a higher power, whether they call it God or the universe or what, Buddhists believe one thing, Christians, Jews, Muslims, this, but people believe there's a higher power. Despots want to stamp that out because they want the supremacy. They want the primacy. So is it because they don't believe that there's a God that they stamp out the populace's belief in God? No, it's because, to my mind, it's simply because they want to retain power. That's that simple. Let's see where he goes with it.
At the errors, or the horrors, I should say, of religion, and there have been many horrors of religion, but a lot of times when the atheists bring those horrors up, they ignore the horrors of atheism. There were far more people killed in the last century by millions by atheistic regimes than have ever been killed in the name of religion anywhere.
I don't know.
I mean, Stalin killed at least 20 million of his own people. Mao, probably 60 million of his own people. You put the dictators of the 20th century together and you get more than 100 million people dead by atheistic regimes. Now, this doesn't prove or disprove atheism or Christianity. I'm just saying the idea that evil comes from religion is nonsense. According to the history of, I think it's the Encyclopedia of War, what percentage of wars do you think involve religion? According to them, 7%. If you take Islam out of it, it's 3%. In fact, let's just think about the last century. World War I caused by religion? No. World War II caused by religion? No. Korean War caused by religion? No. Vietnam War caused by religion? No. Iraq War caused by religion? No. Saddam wanted Kuwait's oil. You just think about our recent history. They're not caused by religion. They're caused by other factors.
All right, I like this guy. He presented it. I like when he said, does this prove or disprove atheism or religion? No. He was just refuting a specific argument. So it was a style of argumentation. I like the way he presented it. I don't know if we ever got on the topic of Romans 10, 9, and 10 and salvation and stuff, where, how he would present himself. But he seems to say, look, I've got my views on this stuff. Your argument doesn't make sense to me. And I agree with him on that part of it. You guys can leave your thoughts on this, but it is true. I mean, absolutely, if you look at the causes of why wars started, it wasn't because somebody was trying to oppose their views. Now, have there been atrocities? Absolutely. The Unitarian-Trinitarian debate, I've studied that extensively and even published a very extensive book on why Trinitarian dogma makes no sense to me. And biblically, historically, logically, however you want to word it, if people believe it, I'm fine with that. I don't want that imposed on me, but of course, I don't want anything imposed on me. I want to make my own mind up on things. But people have been put to death for not believing Trinitarian dogma. People have been put to death for not believing in different aspects of religion. And it's interesting, he brought up Islam, that whoever the outfit is that did their statistical study said that 7% of deaths in war were over religion. And he said when you take Islam out of it, it drops to 3%. I don't know what the other 3% would be over. Most wars are started, as I understand it, over geography. We want to annex your land, right now, Ukraine. We don't want you to have that land. We want it. Or Saddam Hussein going into Kuwait to take the oil. It's generally over money. It's not generally over religion. So anyway, leave your comments, folks. I read them, and we'll go from there. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video, and keep thinking theology.